All right, welcome back, everyone. So we are now approaching step number 3 for the home buying process. This step is really going to consist of how you start the home search and also how your agent gets compensated for the work that they will be doing. So I just want to quickly hit on the agent compensation part of this. I know a lot of buyers are sometimes clueless as to how we get paid as your agent. I will say pretty much 95% of the time we are getting paid by the seller of whatever home you're interested in. So the sellers agree when they list their home with their agent that they will pay a blank amount for both the selling agent and the buyer's agent. So during that time, the compensation is pretty much established between the listing agent and that seller. And then we just step in as your buyer's agent, bring them you as the buyer, and get compensated from them. So nothing you should really ever have to worry about compensating us for out of your pocket, unless you approach a situation where you have a for sale by owner. So some of you may have seen for sale by owner signs out there. They're typically red with white lettering, for sale by owner. They don't want to work with a listing agent, and sometimes they are willing to pay a buyer's agent and sometimes they're not. So if you find a home that is for sale by owner and just absolutely love it, you'll need to negotiate commissions with your agent personally to figure out, how can they work with you in this deal, represent you, but still also give you a decent deal to help it get to closing. So the home search is really where you're able to enjoy this. You can get out, start looking up what inventory is on the market, what homes are available, and for what prices. So it gives you a good idea of really what's out there, what you can afford. And I tell people, just don't feel like you've got to find a home after the first 5 homes that we look at. TV shows that are out there make it look like it's, you get 3 homes to look at, make a choice. It's not that easy. Rarely do I show a home to a client and they immediately fall in love and want to place an offer on the first home. That's just not typically how it goes. I will say, though, from experience, you do tend to know the home when you see it. So I have people that have gotten into situations where they're just a little bit doubtful, and almost always they end up just not purchasing a home because they have that little inkling of doubt of whether or not it's meant for them. So it's a huge investment, not something to be taken lightly. But looking and searching for the home, this is really where you're supposed to start enjoying the process some. So in terms of just getting the search started, some tips for you. You've really got to communicate with your agent here and let them know what are your must-haves. So what are those items that you just can't live without? How many bedrooms? How many baths? Do you have to have a yard for a dog? Do you have to have fencing for any of your pets? There's specific things you as a previous either renter or homeowner should know what you're really looking for. I will say, of course, the lower your price range, the less picky you tend to be able to be. So just keep that in mind as you're looking at homes, that you're kind of limited and you will have to be expected to make some sacrifices if you really do want to purchase a home, because very rarely are you going to just find the perfect home for you that has everything you're looking for. But your agent is there to make sure you at least find something that you're happy with, and the sacrifices should be minimal. So just things to keep in mind, like I said, bedrooms, bathrooms, and then also, now that you've spoken with the lender by this stage, you should have an idea of what type of loan you're going to be getting. There's really a few different major types of loans. You have conventional, which doesn't really have a whole lot of stipulations and requirements. But when you go with a government-sponsored loan, which would be something you may have heard, FHA or the Federal Housing Administration, they offer a type of loan that is government-backed. The Veterans Affairs offers a government-backed loan as well, VA, and then you have a USDA loan, which is actually through the Department of Agriculture, and that would be a situation where the house is in a more rural area and qualifies for that specific type of loan. The reason I bring these up specifically for the home search is because if you're going with one of these government-sponsored loans, you will be expected to possibly have to have some repairs done to that home before you can close. So that government sponsor is going to pretty much send their own appraiser, who's also going to be inspecting that home for safety items. So things like chipped paint or rotten subfloor, missing smoke detectors, windows that don't open, loose railings. So safety issues for the most part is what they're looking for. And also things having to do with water intrusion, things that really will affect the lifespan of your home. So just keep in mind, if you're looking at homes and you see it's as is and it's obviously going to need some work, and you're going with one of those loans, it's very likely you're not going to be able to qualify for that particular home. So I just wanted to go ahead and establish this. It's better to know that up front rather than getting into the process and figuring out after you find a home that may be a potential for you. So another thing I always recommend is let your agent know how much work you're willing and able to do to a home. Plenty of buyers, especially around our age, are looking for strictly move-in ready. We don't know and don't want to do the work that may be required unless it's cosmetic. But express these things to your agent so they know what to look for when the homes are popping up on your search. You have move-in ready, and then you have fixer-upper, and then you have kind of an in-between stage where it may just be paint and maybe some small flooring repairs that may need to be done. So nothing major. Express this to your agent, what exactly you're looking for, and that'll really help out to narrow down your search and figure out what exactly you may be wanting in a home. Especially when it comes to recently renovated or fixed up homes, make sure you're asking if a permit was pulled for the renovations, especially an add-on, those types of things. You just want to know they were done properly, and a permit means that it was inspected and built to code. So it just gives you a little bit of assurance that it was done properly. All right, so like I said, you're going to have to be willing to make some sacrifices, but some things to consider when looking. Think about your own personal life, your daily routine, your personal furniture. Is everything that you have going to fit into this home, or are you planning to furnish it new? These types of things will kind of help you narrow down your search a little bit as you're out looking as well. Do you have enough power outlets? Do you charge multiple phones multiple times during the day in different rooms? Is your water pressure in the shower high enough? Are you going to be happy every day that you go to take a shower? Is this home going to be something you're looking for to live in for years to come, or something that you want to quickly sell? Those types of questions you need to be asking yourself and then expressing the answers to your agent so they can have a better idea as you search. I always encourage my people to commute from work to and from the home before you buy it to ensure your commute is not going to be unbearable. It's not something you can necessarily change very easily if it is. And then the other tidbit I always like to tell people, if you can speak to a neighbor, you will find out much more information than probably from even myself as an agent about that home. Some of it may be true, some of it may not, but neighbors know what goes on in the neighborhood. And plus, it'll give you a good idea of whether or not this is someone you really want to be living next to for the next blank amount of years. So just make sure you're doing your own amount of research in addition to the research your agent will need to do to make sure it's a home that's going to fit for you. And then, the way these email searches work, once you've given an agent the filters or criteria that you're looking for in a home, you'll pretty much be sent that home immediately as it hits the market, matching those filters. So if you happen to see it before your agent, just go ahead and text them from any site. I get people that text me from Zillow, even though they're on my search. That's fine. Just be sure you're communicating and letting them know, hey, this is what I'm interested in. I definitely would like to go take a look at it. With the way the market is, stuff under $250,000 really needs to be viewed as soon as possible, within the first couple of days or the first day if possible, just with how they're moving. So be proactive, just like your agent. I'm sure you'll have a good agent will be sending you homes as they see them pop up as well. It's kind of a mutual effort to make sure you're not missing out on anything. And then once you actually go to start showing homes, I'll get into a little bit more of this next week as we go over the paperwork process. But I just want you to know, as an agent personally, I am more than happy to point out the negatives right alongside the positives when we're looking. And really, the main reason for this is because I want to keep you as a client for the long term. I want you to think of me when you go to resell and still be happy with your home. And I also want you to hopefully refer me out to family and friends as well. That's really a big way for us to build our business. So, these are really just awesome tips to help you out with the home search. I apologize for the lengthy video. I'm going to go and wrap it up, but I hope this helps. Feel free to comment and share and give me your own opinions on all this. Thank you.